There are programs and programs and programs, but this program is very unique because of this. We ventured off and said, can there be a transformation from fear to friendship? And when we set out to do this program, it was so overwhelming to see the response of so many people eager to be our friends. And that is what is so beautiful about American Muslim Voice. We do have a lot of people here. We want to hear them all, because I think this is all about hearing our hearts, what we all feel within and what we want to share. So this is a bit of an academic program over here this evening, so please, bear with the length, because we do have a lot of speakers. And in the interest of time, I'm requesting that everybody, share your thoughts, but we are trying to limit it to 2 minutes. And that would be perfect, I think. As a neurologist, I also know how much of attention span there is for people. And if you went over 2 minutes, we don't want to lose a word that you're saying. So we want to focus tonight, and that is what is, that is what is going to set the tone this evening. The way we decided to do is Khalid Saeed and me, we're going to call one person from this side and one from there, so we just make it a little interesting. And as a neurologist, I also know the dosing factor. We have to keep movement, and we have to make it interesting. So we want all of you to hear what we are all saying today, because I think it is so important and so essential. Thank you. So we'll start off today by Khalid Saeed starting to invite.
I can just do it from here.
Sure.
Mr. Mayor, right here. Oh, see, he's already ready. Wonderful.
Yeah, let's all be quick. If you're on the list, get up here, okay? Good evening, everyone. Tom Stallard, Mayor of the City of Woodland. I couldn't be more proud of our community than to be here in this tent this evening with all of you. I want to thank this mosque. Bless your heart. Thank you, Khalid Saeed. Thank you, American Muslim Voice. Can you imagine the work that all these people went to get this tent up, put these carpets out for us, and get all this food here for us, sound system, lights. They've done an amazing job. Many, many thanks. I also want to extend regrets from Dr. Bill Marble. He was here earlier this evening but had to leave, so he will not be speaking tonight. But I know he, all of our council, joined me in just saying how proud we are of Woodland that this event is happening. You make us proud by hosting this event. And I look down the list and see so many members of our wonderful clerical community are here tonight, all of us standing together for the good of everybody. I also want to mention that Monday, January 18th, we're celebrating Dr. Martin Luther King in Heritage Plaza. Clarence Van Hook will be out there singing again. If you like it, come back for more. We want to celebrate Dr. King's legacy too, because that's the legacy of togetherness, of oneness of all our people. I've said it many times, and I say it again. We are all children of Abraham. We all have one Father, Mother, God. We are brothers and sisters because we have one Creator. It's our job. The least we can do is to learn to love one another and to make that love practical, not just to say it, but to do it. So I think my 2 minutes are up, but honestly, my heart is very full tonight. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Well, we are going to give him an honorary degree of doctorate. Thank you very much. I hope Dr. Marble is not gone to Peru already. Next speaker is the first person who responded to my request was our good friend, Reverend Elizabeth Brake. Please.
That means I was looking at my email at the right time. Sisters and brothers in faith, it is good and right to be together tonight, because we have seen over time what it means when we remain silent in the face of violence, oppression, in the face of injustice. And when we remain silent, our silence becomes complicity, and our complicity and inaction becomes something much, much worse. And so when we are called together as a people to say we are friends, We are in solidarity with one another. We beat and bleed. Our hearts beat together and we bleed when others bleed. We also celebrate and give thanks when others give thanks and celebrate. We walk this journey knowing that we are people who are called, truly called, toward love and compassion and truth. And the ways that we express that loving compassion and truth are by standing up with one another, looking each other in the eye, joining hands around a mosque, hearing way too many speakers on a beautiful night like tonight, and really saying and doing the things that we say we believe. So it is right and it is good that we should stand together, pray together, and hold one another to the standard that God would hold us all to, which is loving compassion in all ways, all times, and all places. Amen?
I now call upon Mariko Yamada, one of my favorites.
Oh. Very much. Good evening, everyone. Assalamu alaikum. It is a great honor for me to join you this evening. When Khalid sent me that email, I don't think I was the first to respond, but I think I was one of the first to say without hesitation that I would lend my name to this event this evening. And not just this evening, all the evenings in the past, and regrettably some evenings probably in the future that we're going to face together. I wanted to say that it was just about a month ago, on December 7th, that was the 74th anniversary of the bombing of Pearl Harbor. And it's a day that myself and our family always certainly look to with some dread, because we have experienced you know, some very, let's just say things that we would rather not repeat. When my children were growing up and we were living in San Diego, around that date, there were words that sometimes were exchanged. And so it's still very fresh, even though it was 74 years ago. As the daughter of some family members that were interned in Manzanar, you know, we know that right after 9/11, one of the first communities to respond, to stand with the Muslim American community was the Japanese American community. And so I hope we have learned our lessons about the need to, you know, speak for others, even when it is not ourselves directly that are being affected. Because it could happen again one day, that it would be one of another group that's represented here tonight, that, you know, we need to stand up for one another. What I want to say is, looking out across this room tonight, this is what the world looks like. This is what America looks like. This is what California looks like. This is what Woodland looks like. And this is the message that we need to impart to those that would spread hate through rhetoric and at the highest levels of well, I don't know that I would call it public discourse. You know, I think the world must be looking at us right now and wondering what is happening in America. Who is asking to lead this country? Surely we are better than this. And you know, ladies and gentlemen, we are. We are. And I can tell you that, having been privileged as the daughter of a family that was interned for 4 years in Manzanar, that you can take the bittersweet inheritance of injustice and turn it into good. So let's do that. Let's, from this day forward, you know, continue to have hope in our hearts. And, you know, one other thing, the challenge, you know, we're all here because we believe, because we already know better. The greater challenge is to reach those that are not here tonight. It is those that, you know, we may be a little uncomfortable about going outside our own, you know, familiar surroundings. But we have got to be the navigators, the emissaries, and the ambassadors for peace and justice. Without that, we will continue to have these gatherings, which are great, but we will not make change that we so surely need in our country. So thank you very much. It's a great honor to join you.
Thank you very much. Mariko. was going to say that. But I just wanted to tell them that I can see future also sometimes. I couldn't see, my lights will be out today, but I know this former assembly member is my future senator. Next, I was trying, and I did not think that I could get this, my friend, my brother, because I heard he was going on a sabbatical for 6 months, and he is awfully busy. But we are lucky that we were able to get Rabbi Greg Wolfe from Davis. Thank you very much, sir. We have been working together for several years in celebration of Abraham and all of the programs, and we are very grateful for your friendship.
I have to say thank you to Khalid for tracking me down. I don't read my email quite as often, I guess, as some of you. But I want to say that I'm here because of our friendship. You know, I'm sorry I have to be here in some ways, right? We shouldn't have to be together after all these years. But to see everyone here, what a blessing to know that we do stand together. And I want to remind everybody, in our shared scriptures from the Psalms, it says, Hine ma tov umanayim shevet achim gam yachad. How wonderful it is when we can sit together as brothers and sisters. And in our tradition, the rabbi said, why did it say gam yachad? It could have been just said yachad, sits together. This word gam, the Kabbalists said the gam is a name for the Shekhinah, for God's indwelling presence. And so what they teach us is that when we sit together and we really see each other as brothers and sisters, that's when God is with us. Not until then. So in that moment when you can look around, you can turn to the person next to you, say, this is my brother, and this is my sister, and you recognize that, then you know that God is here. And I feel God's presence tonight with us. There's a wonderful teaching that I learned as a young teenager that I always remember about. A rabbi asks his students, how do you know when the night is over and a new day has begun, it's time to say the blessings for the morning? And some of the students say, well, is it when you can look into the distance and you can tell the difference between a goat and a sheep? The rabbi says, no, that's not it. He says, well, is it when you can look in the distance and it's light enough, you can tell the difference between an apple tree and a pear tree? He says, no, that's not it. He says, well, when is it? When is it? He says, when you look in the face of every person and you see that they're your brother or your sister. Because if you can't do that, it doesn't matter what time it is, it's still nighttime. So even though it's getting dark out, it's not nighttime because we're here together. We're seeing that we're brothers and sisters. And my last little thought is a beautiful teaching from Rabbi Abraham Joshua Heschel, who marched with the Reverend Martin Luther King Jr. in Selma, Alabama. And he said, my feet are praying. And he said that to be a Jew, it's not about a leap of faith, but it's about a leap of action. And it's not enough just to see each other as brothers and sisters, we have to do something about it. We have to put the call out, and we have to act as if we are brothers and sisters, which means that we stand up for one another, we support each other, we hold out our hands, and we say, I'm here for you. And so with that, I want to hold out my hand just for a moment. Maybe I have 30 seconds left, and ask Michael Hirsh just to share a special reading, a poem and a blessing to end with.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Thank you, Greg. Before I read this piece from a Native American who was able to channel all of our voices, not as one religion or another, but rather as all of our voices, I want to remind, or perhaps announce for the first time for some of you, that on January 31st, we have our 13th annual celebration of Abraham at St. James Church in Davis, starting at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. It goes for 2 hours, and it is another way in which we reach across to one another, to shake hands, to sit with one another, and to be one instead of being separate pieces. So I would love to see each and every one of you there, and we would fill that hall to the rafters. What a blessing that would be. Black Elk said, and his reference to our Creator was as grandfather. Grandfather, Great Spirit, once more behold me on earth and lean to hear my feeble voice. You live first, and you are older than all need, older than all prayer. All things belong to you, the two-legged, the four-legged, the wings of the air, and all green things that live. You have set the powers of the four quarters of the earth to cross each other. You have made me cross the good road and road of difficulties, and where they cross, the place is holy. Day in, day out, forevermore, you are the life of things. Hey! Lean to hear my feeble voice at the center of the sacred hoop. You have said that I should make the tree to bloom with tears running, O Great Spirit, my grandfather, with running eyes, I must say, the tree has never bloomed. Here I stand, and the tree is withered. Again, I recall the great vision you gave me. It may be that some little root of the sacred tree still lives. Nourish it then, that it may leaf and bloom and fill with singing birds. Hear me, that the people may once again find the good road and the shielding tree. Thank you.
Thank you so much. That was inspirational.